Right, basically, it's basically a buzzword now when people talk about AI. You know, it's there, it's up all there. But we'll focus more on digitization, as it were. Around the world now, that's also something that everybody's moving into that particular era to digitize the world. Now we're looking at how digitization can spur economic growth. And I've got Preston here, who is a tech enthusiast and, of course, a business developer. It is great to have you. You are welcome.
Hi. Good morning.
All right. So I know people are talking about how digitization, it's all been going up around there, moving things. I mean, our banking is now digital. I remember the days when when we had to go to a banking hall, when you had to sign checks. I mean, I still remember when I had to go a check. I can't remember, I still have my checking account booklet. But I don't remember when last I ever knew how to put a signature there. Now everything, you don't need to go to a banking hall except something serious. That's in the banking sector, you know. But now it's something that the whole world is saying, look at in every aspect of life, in every aspect of economic growth, digitization is something that we have to, or it's here already, right? How important is that aspect, digitizing the economy, or as it were, or digitizing different sectors of the economy, as it were? How important is it for Nigeria as a country to do that?
Okay, so thank you for that question. So it's actually quite important because if we look at where the world is going now, you know, we're moving away from, you know, a lot of the way we should do things, especially, you know, when you use fossil fuels, and you know, just moving away from analog ways to more digital ways of doing and accomplishing things. So there are different ways we could get into this. You know, like you mentioned, in the world of finance, we have a lot of fintech companies now, where, you know, if you go to most businesses now, a lot of people have, you know, their money points, all these new fintechs are popping up.
And all of that.
Yeah, so it just shows how helpful and how they could grow the economy and how easy it is to use, you know, how they provide solutions. So fintech is one, but then there are a whole lot of other aspects where digitization comes in. You know, we could speak about entertainment. You know, you mentioned platforms like Netflix. You see how you see how traditional cable is going out of fashion.
Exactly.
It's more into
cinema, as it were.
Exactly, more into subscription based. You know, we can mention Showmax. So all those comes into digitization of the economy. So you look at the entertainment and the movie industry, you can mention them Showmax. Look at finance, you mention fintechs like OPay, all those. So the whole point I'm trying to make, and what I'm trying to advise, and where we should all be looking at, is how we could implement this in all aspects. So me, I'm from the Niger Delta region, you know, knowing that most of our revenue in Nigeria comes from
80 to 90% of our economy is all based, as it were. How is it so much? And it's something that we look at. It's something. How can we digitize that space? How is that even possible?
Yes, so by one thing now is education. Education is very key because it's one thing to digitize the space, but then how do you do it? You know, so education plays a big role. So right now, what we're actually looking at doing is creating. We already have a summit planned for, you know, August 29th. There's a summit planned where what we intend on doing is bringing like minds together. Then, so we could discuss, we could have, workshops where, you know, things like coding. So coding is very important. When you speak about AI, coding and programming is very important because that's where you actually teach or you write the code where the computer is then able to learn and then do stuff that the normal stuff that we do as humans, the computer is able to do it for you. So coding is one thing. So having boot camps and like coding challenges to, you know, for people to then learn the skill and then, you know, harness this skill is important in digitization. Then you also have the conversation. So our summit is going to be based off of having the conversation on how we could digitize the economy. You look at content creating and social media. A lot of our young people do that right now. Everybody is doing content creating. That's an aspect of digitization because traditional marketing usually used to be you go out, share tracks, you know, but now you don't really need to do all that. You have your social media, you do some content, upload it, people see it, they tie into the brand, whatever you're advertising, and you get revenue. Whatever brand it is gets revenue from just that content. So it's part of what we're looking at. Looking at entertainment, content creation, looking at education, teaching people how to actually use these systems.
Okay.
And yeah, so doing all this helps move away from just focusing on, because all this bring revenue back to the.
You mentioned something about coding and all of that. Now we're going to a point whereby people will even tell you that you have AI bots who would even code
for you. Exactly.
So why the need for someone to go learn coding, as it were, if AI can do it?
If AI can do it. So that's actually a very good question. So I've looked at that myself. So it's one thing. So if you have heard about ChatGPT,
yeah,
it's one thing to know ChatGPT is AI that answers any question you ask it. But there's another thing which people underlook is actually the prompt. So if you have to understand that AI is not a human being. Now we're speaking, and we could speak fluently, and obviously because of how advanced you are as a human, you could understand me. But when it comes to AI, there's a way to prompt it. There's a way to go about it.
That's where prompt engineering comes in.
Exactly, that's where prompt engineering comes into. So you need to then, this which is obviously the summit also addresses, having people discuss about more prompt engineering, having people learn how to actually prompt AI systems
to give you what
give you what you want, how to utilize AI systems, and also how to create AI systems, because you should understand that AI is actually at the base level right now. This is level 0. So the more people we have in Nigeria and our economy that know how to create these systems, the better it is for the economy, because this is what ChatGPT was created by somebody. It wasn't created by AI, it was created by a human. So if we have more people in our nation doing this type of stuff, so it helps the nation in general.
When you look at films, looking back, when you look at films like iRobot and the rest, would there ever be a time when AI gets to the point whereby they have they are autonomous in such a way that they can make decisions on their own and even create themselves? You mentioned that yes, ChatGPT was created by somebody else, and AI get to the point whereby it has learning much, because the issue here is constant learning, and like you said, can it get to a point where AI can create another version of itself?
Of itself? Well, so you could go down a rabbit hole of how that happened.
Yeah, it could be quite a rabbit hole and all of that. But what I'm saying is that as humans, is there any way we're trying to checkmate things like that ever happening?
Yes, so that's where regulations comes in, government bodies come in. So, and this is also it's a controversial point of view, but it's also where what I feel limits AI at this point, because there are a lot of there's a platform called Hugging Face. You go on Hugging Face, you see a lot of different AI codes have been written by people, software apps that do different sorts of things. But the regulation is important, because it's one thing having this powerful software that could do anything, but it's another thing being able to regulate it so it doesn't get out of hand. Because if you look at AI soft computers, if you go deep down, what you're saying is it gets to a point where AI can create more AI software for himself. It then looks at the grand scheme of things. Why do we really need humans?
Exactly. That's where. Okay, so all of these people can get to learn at the summit and get to understand how they can be a part of the digital era.
Yes.
Well done, Preston. Thank you very much for all of that. And I hope people can learn more or get to learn from that particular summit.
Yes.
Well done.
Okay,
Thank you. All right. Well, that's it on our tech discussion this morning. We'll take a time and I'll stay with us. We'll be back after this.